Good morning and good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Today in L.A. with yours truly, Mike Amos, along with Boris Lee, and of course awaiting the appearance of Big Bill Rice.
Big Bill Rice, and I understand he's got a birthday coming up within the next 2 or 3, 4 days.
Yeah.
So we'll have to do something for Big Bill.
Hope everybody's doing well this morning on a Wednesday, hump day they call it.
Hump day.
In T. Roy, Alabama. And of course, football practice is just 4 days away, and everybody's getting excited about it. Troy University, they say that they can take 115 now. I think that's what they said. 115 players will report for a regular practice Monday morning.
They better liquidate and hydrate, because it is hot out there.
One thing about it, you're right, but like you said, acclimate to the weather. They've been doing that all summer.
Yes, sir. The high school football starts August the 20th. The first games, official games. I know Goshen plays at Hopeville, Escambia Academy, where Hugh Fountain coaches, and he was the longtime coach at Charles Henderson High School. Escambia Academy will come to Pike Liberal Arts and play that same night on August the 20th. Plus, the Bulldogs of Pike County is going to travel about 8-10 miles down the road to play Charles Henderson in the Jamboree at Veterans Memorial Stadium.
And that day, the 23rd, is that right?
That's the 20th.
The
20th of August.
20th.
And then Charles Henderson and Pike County will open their regular season the next week, the 27th. And Charles Henderson, their first regular season game is against Montgomery Catholic, and they've got one or two of the top prospects in the state of Alabama. And
I need to get a verification on the date of the Charles Henson's first ball game, because that is also the night of the let's see.
I've got their schedule. The first, they're going to play Pike County the 20th.
Yes.
In a Jamboree here at Veterans Stadium. Then on the 27th of August, they'll play home or host Montgomery Catholic. Then the 3rd of September, which is a Friday night, they will play away at Greenville.
Okay, good.
Away at Greenville.
I think that's the night that they have the...
it is. With the, you're talking about the Hall of Fame banquet.
Hall of Fame banquet, yeah.
And
then it will not have an effect on that. They're going to have it that Friday before the first football game.
Yes, sir. Well, Charles says will be away at Greenville.
Yeah. Okay.
But then Troy University will open up the Saturday, September the 4th against Southern.
Yeah. Now,
big game.
Is there, when is Charles Henson's second game?
The second game, official game, is against Greenville, the September the 3rd.
So they do, that game is on the Thursday. Is that right?
Their game's on Friday, but they play at Greenville.
Okay, I got you.
So there will be nobody in the stadium on September the 3rd, but that's the banquet for the Troy University Hall of Fame.
Of course, the Jamboree, the big Jamboree is the 23rd.
The 20th.
The
20th.
I'm getting confused. Yeah. All right, okay.
Now let's just.
The 20th.
The 20th is when football starts in high school, which is about 3 weeks away.
Looking forward to it, and I hope everybody out there is, because it is. I can smell it in the air, man. I tell you, it's a great time of the year.
Great time of the year. And
of course, we've got a big event coming up this weekend. Actually, on July the 31st, which is this weekend. The Johnny Barron and the Waterfall Band is going to be joining several other people to give support to a young man that was injured in a motorcycle four-wheeler accident. His name is Michael, and he's got a long ways to recover, but he's making some headway, and we hope that you'll come out and join us for a big night with the Waterfall Band. Johnny Barron. Anytime Johnny Barron's putting on a show, you can expect it to be quite a good one.
Yes, sir. That's going to be at the Clemens Barn in Brundage, Alabama. County Road is 4348 County Road 3316 at the Clemens Barn. and it'll be at 7 p.m. Until this Saturday night, July the 31st.
I noticed they're going to
Michael John Meads.
They're going to auction off several things too to raise money, and all to benefit and assist Michael with his medical expenses and allow him to get the therapy that he needs. And you know, it was a lot of people that really love and care about Michael, and we wish him the best luck. Kerry Meads, we want to do anything we can to help you with your brother who needs help, and hopefully we'll get him some good help out there.
Yes, sir. Well, I wanted to mention about Jimmy Copeland.
Oh, boy.
Jimmy Ray Copeland passed away a couple of days ago. He was 69, lifelong resident of Pike County. Grew up in the Ebenezer community.
Yep.
His wife Martha, they were married about 48 years, and he was a District 2 commissioner for a long time, and was over 20 years in the Alabama Army National Guard. Served in Desert Storm. He retired at the rank of major. He also worked extensively here at Troy Cable, and he specialized in public relations, and he was liaison officer and coordinator for multiple projects here for Troy Cable. He has two sons, Todd and Chad. His services, the visitation is Wednesday at Green Hills Funeral Home.
Which is today.
It's just today from 4 to 6 p.m. And then tomorrow at 1 to 2 o'clock, there's also visitation, and the service will begin tomorrow, which is Thursday, at 2 o'clock at Green Hills Funeral Home, right on Highway 29 going toward Luverne. But our thoughts and prayers are with the Copeland family, and, you know, personally, I guess I knew Jimmy when I was in the Guard, but
He was your commanding officer.
when I transferred over from the 3rd and 117th Field Artillery to the 1659th, Jimmy was our commanding officer when we went to Saudi Arabia, and Chris thanks the world.
Jimmy went with the
Jimmy was our commander.
Rank guy there, wasn't he?
He was our commander. Of course, Chris Amos was there, Sherman Stafford, some other local people, Greg Mobley,
and you know, and
Donnie Jeffrey.
When they went, we had no idea what they were going to face, because we were thinking that this was going to be a monster situation.
We just didn't know. We were at summer camp when we got put on alert, and some of us were sent back, and we reported to the Armory, and we stayed doing a lot of equipment check-in, doing a lot of things for about a week at the Army. Then we got dismissed to go home. And then I taught for about 5 days, and Lee Gardner, our first sergeant, called me and said, "Forrest, we've been activated. You need to come on to Troy."
Boy, that was a scary moment.
And,
you were still in college, weren't you?
Well, I was teaching in Georgia.
Oh, in Georgia, okay.
Yeah. Greg Mobley was enrolling at Troy University, and they tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Greg, come on with me."
Oh, gosh.
And Chris was like Chris, your nephew Chris was probably 19.
That's right.
He was in college.
Yeah.
But there's two people I want to mention, too, that have already passed away from our unit. Bill Stevens was from Louisville. And, of course...
All right, did Bill teach
Jim,
at Troy?
No, Bill was a Marine
okay.
for a while. Then he married Sandy Price from Louisville. She was from Louisville. And but they lived in Louisville. He was a mail carrier. And but Bill has passed away, and also Jim Stinson. We call him Jabbo. That's Kay's husband, and we've lost both of those. Now we've lost Jimmy. And when I think of Jimmy Copeland, you know, we just lost Jimmy Lunsford. And Jimmy was in the Alabama Guard for a long, long time.
Yeah, he sure
and I really met them when I was working full-time with Roy Sanders.
Yeah.
That's who I worked under when I was full-time, was Alex Roy Sanders.
Yeah, Alex Roy Sanders.
We called him AR.
I tell you what, there was only one, the Lord made only one Roy Sanders. I tell you, he was something.
We called him AR, Star, Bo, and Lucille.
You reckon he ever sold a car to a officer?
About once a week. Once a week, probably.
What a man, a great man.
Is the phone ringing?
Mike Amos, trying to bring Mike Amos here.
Says disconnected, Steve.
No phone so far today. Let's see.
The City of Montgomery Department of Cultural Affairs is excited to welcome country music icon Martina McBride to Riverwalk Stadium on August 14th. Tickets are just $30. Get your tickets online at montgomeryal.gov or in person at 200 Coosa Street. Martina McBride with special guests the Wilson Brothers Band on August 14th is brought to you by Embassy Suites, Blue Water Broadcasting, and Bama Bud.
This is my chart from Southeast Health.
And you're going to want to make it yours.
Not because it's free,
but because it's priceless.
Because with my chart,
you can schedule appointments online with your provider.
You can email your provider and get answers.
Get test results.
Refill prescriptions.
And manage your family's health care. You know how we all want health care to be easier?
But no one seems to listen?
Well, someone did.
Southeast Health.
To get your free My Chart app, visit your app store or go to southeasthealth.org.
Are you ready?
Starting August 20th.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
When it comes to surgery, precision is perfection. The very latest technology available ensures the best possible outcome. The Mako Robotic Arm-Assisted Surgery System is now available at Troy Regional Medical Center. Skilled orthopedic surgeon Dr. Robert L. Liljeberg and his team provide patients with faster recovery and better movement after a knee replacement surgery. When accuracy matters, you deserve the very best. Troy Regional Medical Center.
The City of Montgomery Department of Cultural Affairs is excited to welcome country music icon Martina McBride to Riverwalk Stadium on August 14th. Tickets are just $30. Get your tickets online at montgomeryal.gov or in person at 200 Coosa Street. Martina McBride with special guests the Wilson Brothers Band on August 14th is brought to you by Embassy Suites, Blue Water Broadcasting, and Bama Bud.
Back to our show. Martina McBride is coming to Montgomery. Is that right?
Riverwalk Stadium, I believe it said August the 14th.
Should be a lot of fun, a lot of Olympic news that we've got to tell you about. Of course, the great gymnast says no, she's not going to compete as of right now. What do you think?
Well, I believe the last report I heard that has come from her mouth that she withdrew because of some stress. Some stress that she was going through, and she felt like she wasn't into her routine. So she
felt like she had the whole thing on her shoulders.
So she felt like it was best for her and her team for her to back up and let someone else take her spot. But I do want to mention this: a Auburn freshman, an incoming freshman, was on the team, the gymnastics team, and they finished second to the Russian Olympic Committee. If you see ROC in the awards, that stands for the Russian Olympic Committee. Good morning. Welcome to Today in L.A.
Hey, morning. How are y'all?
Good morning. Good. Mike Amos from Grayton Beach, Florida. Is that right? It says here a man named Michael Amos.
Yeah, I tried to call in a few times.
That was our fault. We didn't have the phone hooked up like we were supposed to, but we're ready.
Looks like we got a big recall. McCormick recalls Italian and Frank Red Hot seasonings because of salmonella risk. Anybody that purchased McCormick Perfect Pinch Italian seasoning, McCormick Perfect Pinch Italian seasoning 2.25 bottles, And then Frank's Red Hot Buffalo Ranch seasoning. There's been a recall in Alabama and Florida.
I've never buy that stuff. Those kind of seasonings.
Yeah, I know it, exactly, but I use.
I'm sorry I missed the show earlier. It was a very strange situation yesterday in sports. It's kind of like the Olympics. It's kind of like a Olympian Super Bowl, and then all suddenly you just kind of mentally check out and decide to quit in the middle of the competition. What is y'all's opinion on that? What did y'all, have y'all talked about that in it?
We were in the middle of that when you called, but you know, she withdrew, and I believe it said mental issues or, just anxiety, not necessarily anxiety, but just not mentally into her routines that she was about to perform and didn't warm up well. But a girl by the name of Sinisi Lee, who is from St. Paul, Minnesota, she will be an incoming freshman at Auburn University. She was part of the team that won silver. The United States finished silver, had a silver medal in that part of the Olympics. And her parents are from Laos. But anyway, I don't really know what to say other than it kind of frustrates me a little bit.
I got a feeling it's not over yet. I think tomorrow there's an event. The all-around event is still out there, and also some special events that she could perform if she wants. I hope that she still can make a decision on this.
Yeah, I think she can still do all-around, and I think she can. Then after that, then they have like the individual competition for, say, the pole vault. Then they give the bronze, silver, and gold for the pole vault. Yeah. Then they do the gymnastics or the floor routine. So, what do you think, Michael? I just.
Well, it looks like an announcement's been made. Biles withdraws from the individual all-around final. Defending Olympic champion Simone Biles will not compete in Thursday's individual all-around competition in order to focus on mental health. So she looks like she's done.
Yeah, I believe that's the reason.
Well, isn't that the same reason the tennis player bowed out of some of the major tennis tournaments because of some mental exhaustion? And
yeah, I mean, I know Michael Phelps dealt with that. Of course, he never, didn't run a race or participate. I know he dealt with that off of the, the pool, had issues. But, I mean, definitely surprised. And I think my wife and I were watching it last night, and I think I would have respected her more if she would have just gone to the locker room and stayed in the locker room.
That's right.
And then came out and cheered and joked around and was jumping up and down. And I know people say she was trying to encourage her teammates, but they were already under enough stress to have to look over there at the so-called greatest gymnast of all time. I mean, I'm sure she'll still be considered that, but I don't know what will happen to her after this. I know one thing, she's going to lose millions and millions of dollars probably.
How old is Simone Biles? How old is she?
24.
24.
Well, the lead girl who replaced her.
The problem is she's like walking around with a GOAT, T-shirts and outfits. GOAT means greatest of all time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she's already promoted herself as the greatest thing ever. And then
we got another caller, Mike. Hold it, please. I don't want to lose this other person. Hang on.
There you go. Great.
Good morning.
Hey, it's Will Matthews.
Hey, Will.
How you doing, Will? Good to hear from you.
We were in the middle. Michael was talking about Simone Biles. Simone Biles.
Right.
And whether she's toast or not, we don't know. Whether or not she's going to be able to compete. I would love to see her compete.
She's withdrawn now for the individual all-around final.
She's out.
Yeah. Well, I just thought that on Thursday she could come back. I don't know.
It's over for her.
Well, it's a shame. Of course, men's swimming has a lot of their finals coming up. That's going to be real good. That's my favorite event. And but there's guys giving them a lot of competition though.
Well, Mr. Will, we hadn't talked to you since Rahm had to withdraw and DeChambeau because of COVID from the Olympics.
Yeah, they're real strict on that.
And
these players had to take 3 tests before they were in to play.
Yeah, I'm looking at the medal count right now. The USA has 30 medals. China has 24. Japan has 21.
Yeah. Hey, Will, aren't you sort of sad that they didn't have a domino championship in the list of everything? They had everything but that, isn't that right?
You talking about in the Olympics?
Yeah.
That's not a that's
I know, but they had everything else in there, but
skateboarding.
I know
the tennis players are upset because of the excessive heat. They requested to play their matches at night, but the heat index is getting right at 100 and over. And one of the players.
I'm wondering if they're going to let the golfers wear shorts. I guess we'll find out tonight. They start tonight. Golf. It actually it's 5:30 this afternoon. It's the first tee off.
Okay, that's gonna be fun. Who are they?
Watch it every night, prime time.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
will they let them wear shorts because of heat?
I don't know. It'll just be interesting to see if they let them. I noticed they're doing it in practice rounds, but obviously they're gonna be out in the heat.
Yeah.
The United States got Justin Thomas, Xander Schauffele, Patrick Reed's now been at it, and then the guy you got to think that might win it is Colin Markoff.
Yeah, I would think he's one of the favorites.
Yeah. They're playing golf for their nation, but do they get paid? Do they get any kind of pay for what they're doing?
Oh, yeah, sure.
They will get some pay?
I'm sure they're making money. They wouldn't be doing it.
Nobody plays just for the pride of their country. You got to make money, man.
Well, I don't know. See, I've heard that they weren't going to get paid.
Mr. Will, change the subject real quick, but Steve had mentioned earlier that all federal government employees are going to be required to get the COVID vaccine.
I don't see how that's constitutional, but it doesn't apply to me.
Okay.
Well, I tell you what, I'd like to see everybody get the vaccine. I would love for everybody that should get the vaccine gets the vaccine.
Yeah. Well, Huntsville City.
The problem is right now is everybody with the Delta variant, you run into a situation where you can still carry COVID and still have the virus, but you're all asymptomatic. A lot of people right now probably have it and don't even realize it, even though they have the vaccine.
Yeah.
So that's what the problem is. All these people that don't have the vaccine are around people that have been vaccinated that have no symptoms whatsoever. So, I don't see how this ever slows down.
Well, the Centers for Disease Control is recommending that all schools require masks this fall. Huntsville City and Lowndes, Perry, and Wilcox County are requiring their staff to wear masks. Bullitt County and Birmingham City, you don't have to wear a mask if you're vaccinated. If you're not vaccinated, you have to wear a mask.
I heard there were 500 people in Alabama under care at hospitals now.
How about 900?
Had it gone to 900 now?
It was 900 yesterday.
Well,
I said it on the show.
Oh, well, evidently I got information that was wrong and you were right, or vice versa. How about that?
Mine comes from UAB. That's what UAB reported yesterday.
900 more people under care of a hospital. Is that right?
That's what they're saying.
Mike, I had a client call me yesterday. He's got COVID. So I won't see him for a while, but he said there's 25, 30 people that work with him at Fort Rutgers that got it.
Oh, boy.
There's restaurants, I don't want to name names down here, that are having to shut down because of all their staff have got COVID, and they can't open up. They have to close down because of it.
Wow.
Man, I tell you.
It's just one of those situations where, this Delta variant, it's just now getting to the southern states, and then it'll work its way out to the Midwest and the West Coast.
But you know what gets me?
I know one thing in the state of Florida, my kids won't be wearing a mask anywhere because DeSantis has come out numerous times and says it's not going to happen.
I know it. Well, I can't understand why, though, that you know, he doesn't have to, and the state of Florida doesn't have to, and everybody else has to. I think you ought to wear a mask in public places.
Well, he calls the shots at this stage.
Yeah, I know. He's running for president too. Is that right?
No, he hasn't announced. He's not announced to run yet.
Oh.
If Trump doesn't run, he'll be running. I'll guarantee you.
Oh boy, shoot! Oh. What's your feeling of Trump?
If he ran with Nikki Haley, that would be an interesting campaign.
Do you still think Hunt's got some political savvy? Do you think he is still strong with the Republican Party?
Who is this?
Trump.
Oh yeah, no question.
Cool.
Yeah, the problem with Trump is what happened in Washington, D.C. that day when they stormed the Capitol. That's the one thing I don't think he can ever get past.
This is going on right now. Sure doesn't make him look good. What do you think about that, Will? What's going on now? It doesn't look good for well, I mean, everything's negative.
Mr. Will, Texas and Oklahoma, what are your thoughts about flying into the SEC? They made their official request yesterday, and I think they're going to discuss it tomorrow, the SEC presidents and all those. What's your feelings?
Well, this is the problem. In order for them to join the SEC, they have to get 3 votes out of the 14 teams. Okay?
Only 3.
Only 3. No, they've got to get more than
11.
They've got to get
11
to get in. 4. They can't. Let me reverse it. They've got to get 12.
Oh no, okay.
Well, this article says they got to get 11 of 14. 11
out of 14
yeah. Okay.
will get them in. 10 vote yes, they won't get in. So that means there can only be 3 no votes. And you know Texas A&M's a no. You know Missouri's a no. And all they need is one more no, and they're out.
Yeah.
So if I was Vandy, would I vote to let them in? No. I want to keep my part of 5. It's not going to get any bigger.
Yeah. Well, Lofton, who is the Texas A&M president, said that they've had a gentleman's agreement that it had to be unanimous, but now they're going to 11 out of 14. Says that they will probably not be able to stop them coming. But like I said, I believe Vanderbilt, Missouri, Texas A&M. Is there another one? That's 11. Arkansas.
Arkansas would be against it. I would think both Mississippi schools would be against it.
What is your gut feeling? What do you want to see happen?
I think eventually, Mike, they're going to have what are called super conferences, and NCAA football is going to be like the NFL.
Yeah.
And you're going to have
trust me. SEC would regret if Texas and Oklahoma went to another conference down the road. If they want to join now, you let them join now. That's just those 2 names are too big to go somewhere else.
Well, one thing I heard yesterday on Paul Feinbaum, I believe, was that, they're not going to be an issue of money. They're going to bring money to the Southeastern Conference. But some of these Big Ten schools and all this other stuff, they're looking at these other schools, they're going to be a financial burden to those conferences because they don't bring the power and the money to the table. Oklahoma and Texas will bring it to the Southeastern Conference. But when these conferences are looking to add schools, they're looking at someone that will bring money to the table or to the pie.
The big issue is will Texas be able to keep the Longhorn network? They have their own network. Texas doesn't.
Give that up, Michael. They would give that up.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
They would give that up.
If you look at all the sports in Texas, it's incredible. Their sports teams over the years.
But it looks like with all that, they could stand alone if they wanted to, couldn't they? Texas could stand alone.
If I was letting two teams in, I'd let Florida State, Clemson in way before those two. Yeah.
Well, where would Miami go?
I mean, look at Texas alumni base alone, though. Texas alumni base, what is it, 70,000 a year go to Texas? Isn't that their enrollment?
Whoa.
Yeah, they've got a huge school out there.
Well, it looks to me like
baseball, basketball, Texas golf's incredible.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's strong.
It would be unbelievable up and down what they would bring. Oklahoma's great in all the sports as well. Have the best softball team in the country.
Yeah.
Gymnastics.
Well, do you think they'll try to add two more? Bring in Clemson?
I think you stop at 16.
Texas enrollment 51,000.
Yeah, 51,000.
Lord.
Which our show is brought to you by Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep.
Doesn't it count commuters?
This says their enrollment. Well, I just put in University of Texas enrollment. It said 51,000.
That's plenty. That's plenty. Of course, we appreciate our people, Jason Gregory and all the people at Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep on the bypass, and where they've got a tremendous sale going on right now that they can save you a lot of money. Remember this, and remember it very well. Nobody beats a deal and we appreciate Premier Chrysler Jeep and Ram truck on the bypass. Sorry about that.
So where Alabama picked up a recruit, Kobe Prentice. He's 5'10", 170 pound wide receiver from Calera. He can he posted a 4.38 40-yard dash at a Crimson Tide camp. He was committed to Maryland, but now he has committed to the University of Alabama, which puts them in Rivals 247 or 247 recruiting. That boosts Alabama to number 3. But
he's got to be a kick returner because he sure don't want to get hit much. 170 pounder.
He caught 41 passes for 711 yards. So going back to Oklahoma and Texas, if they join the Southeastern Conference, I believe it's supposed to start in 2025. So they've got about 3.5 years to figure all things out for all other conferences.
I know it.
Let's get it all settled before we go in.
What do these guys do?
How about the top player for Fairhope is not going to play this season due to academics? A guy named T.J. Banks went out on Twitter yesterday and said that he won't be able to play this season because of his grades in the classroom. So he'll have to sit out the whole year, but he's one of the top 40 recruits in Alabama going into 2022. Got offers from Auburn, Ole Miss, Tennessee. You don't see that much anymore. A high school kid doesn't have his grades to play.
I know it. You're right.
Especially at a school like Fairhope. You would think that would be a pretty good school as far as academics.
I was at Piggly Wiggly yesterday, and tremendous, always a lot of produce and steaks and chicken and all kinds of great food at Piggly Wiggly right here on South Brundage Street in Troy, and also on the bypass and we appreciate them being a long-time sponsor of our show. Sisters Restaurant, they don't get any better than Sisters, Mike. I know you wish you were here to eat there.
Yeah, don't have too many meat and treat places down here, to say the least. I'm going to go see Glenn and Sunnyside Grill this morning. I'm going to go down there and have breakfast, so I'm looking forward to that. Probably going to get a 3-egg omelet with mushrooms, cheese, and onions. And then you got those home fries, you got the toast with a little extra butter. And then I just dip my toast in one of those little strawberry jelly packets.
Or just rub it in, okay? Just rub it in.
Well, we got Bird Drugs, Mike. We got Bird Drugs, and that's awfully good. Today, delicious.
Also, I'm enjoying my Bo Nix Milos tea this morning. Milos tea, please be a sponsor of the show.
Bo Nix, yeah. Well, Bob Stoops, he's all for it. He says that he believes it's a good move and a necessary move for the future of Oklahoma and the football program. And he says, by joining the Southeastern Conference, we ensure the state's flagship university will be represented nationally while protecting our rich football history for many years to come. To move forward in any other manner would be to the detriment of Oklahoma and to the state of Oklahoma, to the university. So Bob Stoops, he used to not particularly care for the Southeastern Conference, but he's all for it now.
You're right. So, now, their money goes up a lot, too. Now, they split the money how many ways, Mike? Now, how many ways will they have to split it?
Well, I mean, it'll be 16 members instead of 14.
Somebody told me it's coming close to $50 million a year through that poll.
Well, ESPN's going to have to increase the ante now that you pick up Texas and Oklahoma.
Well, I'm thinking,
if that's the case.
And somebody told me Texas can pay its own way. But they'll have to lose some money, won't they? They'll have to pay their conference, don't they, to leave?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Florida and University of Central Florida announced yesterday that they're going to have a 2-1 football series. Florida and the University of Central Florida.
Real good.
They're going to meet in Gainesville in 2024 and in 2033, and then they'll go to the Bounce House in Orlando in 2030 for all you Florida and Central Florida fans out there.
This Manziel, he'll have a chance, to redeem himself at Central Florida, won't he? Malzahn.
Yeah, Malzahn's the guy that should win 10 games a year, I would think, at Central Florida. So, I mean, the recruiting base alone down there. Of course, you got Brian Blackman down there coaching, too, the former Troy coach, Opelika coach.
Right.
He's on the staff as special teams coordinator.
Boy, I tell you what.
Brought a bunch of other Auburn guys as well.
Yeah. A lot of guys are getting jobs, especially Troy guys, ex-Troy guys.
I imagine Central Florida pays pretty well.
Oh yeah, they'll pay premium money, no question.
I mean, Central Florida's a team I think you'll see make the jump up. I think once all the dominoes fall, they'll end up in a Power 5 conference.
Yeah, they're pretty good, no question about it. And
I think you'll see Central Florida. I think you'll see Houston, possibly Memphis. I don't know if Boise State is big enough to join like the Pac-12, but they're pretty good in all sports. And then other than that, I think that'd probably be it.
Yeah, Malzahn, I think he's sitting at a place that he can be there for the next 10 years if he wants to. Because I don't think they're going to have any problem, like you said, winning at least 8 or 9 games a year.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing you can maybe see one day is he wants to return home and be the Arkansas coach, but he's already had a chance to do that a couple of times.
Yeah. This guy at Arkansas, he's an old man, but I believe he's a winner. I think they like him.
Yeah, he's like Brett Dillman a lot. He looks just like a Razorback, so I think he fits in with the culture well.
They open up with Rice on the 4th, and then they play Texas on September the 11th.
Who is that, Arkansas?
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Then Georgia Southern.
Yeah.
Arkansas lost their quarterback, Felipe Frank. But
What
the
happened?
backup, Jefferson, played pretty well against Missouri. I watched all that game. He threw for about 450 yards.
What happened to Franks, Mike?
He's a backup quarterback for the Falcons.
Okay. He went ahead and left.
He's behind A.J. McCarron.
Okay, I got you. I wish A.J.
McCarron might be able to play if Matt Ryan struggles some.
Yeah, you're right. No question about it.
Mr. Will, what's going on in the world of golf these days?
Well, really, just the Olympics is starting tonight. That's really all there's going.
Next week, though, Will, they go to Memphis. You've been to that tournament many times, haven't you? They're going to play the World Golf Championship there.
Michael, I used to go every year, but when it became a WGC event, they curtailed all the tickets to the members, and my aunt's a member there, and it's ridiculous. They've made it because they want to make money. They jacked the ticket prices way up, and you know it's not fun going to that tournament. It's 150 degrees outside, and it's a long course to walk around on. It's just not a very comfortable venue, you know.
Yeah, Memphis in August is an interesting place to play. It's not like you try to play up north somewhere that time of year.
It's hot. It's hot. But the golf course is a good golf course they play on. They play at Southwind, which is one of those TPC courses. And you've got mounds built up all around the golf course. You can see real well if you go watch. But the heat's going to be brutal. Brutal.
And we do have golf this weekend, or are they off?
No, they're off.
The Olympics.
So that gives them a little break. They don't get many breaks, but that's a break.
Yeah, you'll have two tournaments next week. You'll have the tournament in Memphis, and then there'll be another tournament for the players that are not in the top 75 on the money list, I believe. Or I don't know. How does World Golf Championships work? Well, is it rankings or is there?
Yeah, it's top 50 in the world.
Okay. Yeah.
World rankings. And now, if one of the top 50 can't play, they'll go down to 51, 52, that type of thing.
You know.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what these guys in the Olympics do. You're going to be coming all the way back from Tokyo. You don't finish up until Sunday, and then you would have to go to Memphis and get ready for that tournament. I wonder how many of those guys will even compete.
I think they'll all go to Memphis if they can, Michael, because you're guaranteed like 50,000 for last place.
Yeah, FedEx will probably just fly everybody directly from Tokyo there, I would imagine.
I really don't know.
And
of course, we got, I guess, reporting the camp, Dad, come Monday. The university's going to report.
That's right, they're ready to report. They're going out on the field together. They'll be there Monday.
Mike, you were mentioning about golf. Let me go back to that real quick. The Barracuda Championship is also the 5th through the 8th in California at the Old Greenwood at Truckee, California. So they'll either play in Memphis. I guess the other golfers will play in the Barracuda Championship if they're not in the top 50. That's an upcoming event.
Mike, the University of South Alabama thinks that they might have the difference maker in quarterback Jake Bentley. I don't know.
I mean, he's got to be the most experienced quarterback.
Yeah.
In the Sun Belt, probably.
He transferred from Utah,
South Carolina, and played in Utah, and now he's at South Alabama.
I don't think he was really. He made much headway at Utah. What do you think?
I saw him playing a couple of games down there. He looked pretty good to me.
Did he?
And he threw some interceptions, but I mean, that was a weird decision to leave. You grow up in Alabama, you go play in Columbia, South Carolina, then you go try to play out in Utah, Salt Lake City.
What I'm saying, it looks like he's just looking for a place to land to play his senior year.
Well, you know, it's interesting there because at the time that happened, I think Brian Blackman was still on staff at Troy.
Yeah.
And he was his high school coach. I was surprised Troy didn't try to get him.
Yeah. But I think Troy likes what they got. I just hope that this kid from Missouri can come in and at least play a backup role.
Well, you got to think Gunnar Watson will probably get the first shot out when fall camp starts, but then I guess Chip Lindsey hadn't decided who the star is going to be, so maybe Taylor Paul's got a chance.
Well, you know, South Alabama will open up against Southern Miss, but later on in the year, they travel to Tennessee. So can they go up there and surprise Tennessee?
I know.
Well, maybe it wouldn't be a surprise. We'll see how they do.
Well, you know, the guy they hired, the Womack guy, is a defensive-minded coach. You know, he was defense coordinator in Indiana, and they got a lot better on defense when he was up there.
Yeah.
Well, that's going on.
So we'll definitely be watching that Southern Miss game there because they'll play Southern Miss in a couple of games. Yeah. I mean, what, third game of the season?
Yeah. That's correct, on the 18th.
Troy's schedule is not very conducive to any week off or any week they can be knocked off.
Yeah. But you know, South Alabama will host Southern Miss that weekend, and we travel to Southern Miss.
That's right.
So that will maybe give South Alabama a little bit of an advantage at John Hancock Stadium.
I'm about to think that Appalachian State and Louisiana might be sitting at a place by themselves. I think that's your two best teams.
You forget about Coastal Carolina?
I don't know. I saw Troy played Coastal Carolina off their feet last year, and I just think the most stable programs are Louisiana and then Appalachian State.
Did Louisiana did Louisiana keep their coach, or did he leave?
No, he stayed.
Yeah. He's a good one too.
Well, they open up at Texas. That could be an upset.
Right,
People are saying, look out for the Cajuns rolling into Austin. They may beat Texas. They play them the 4th of September.
I tell you what, Sarkisian, though, offensive coach, man, he'll find a way to score against Lafayette.
They kick off at 3:30 in the afternoon.
I still think Coastal's going to be great with that quarterback. As long as they have that quarterback back, and I think they got a lot of guys back on offense. I think they lost a lot of good defensive players.
Yeah.
That quarterback for a freshman last year was the best I'd ever seen in the Sun Bowl.
Well, a lot of people say that Gunnar Watson was injured most of the year last year and really was not able to show his potential. I think Coach Lindsey thinks that he can come around and be a factor, along with this kid, the kid from Taylor Powell from Missouri.
Yeah, he's not a kid, though. He's technically a senior in the classroom, so he's about 22 years old.
Did he have 2 years of eligibility?
He's got 2 years left. He didn't play at all last year for Missouri. He sat the whole season out because of the COVID protocols. So
he's about
23. A year back anyway.
Yeah, he's about 20.
A lot of people don't talk about the Missouri quarterback coming back. I thought Blasiak or whatever his name was last year was pretty good.
They got him.
I think Missouri and Eli Drinkowitz, I think they're a team that people need to watch. He's a good coach.
Yeah. What is his background?
He was at Auburn. He was at NC State. He was at Boise State.
Yeah.
All right, here's Missouri's schedule. You got Central Michigan.
State head coach.
Missouri, the first 5, 6, 7 games, they may go 7-0. We've got Central Michigan, then Kentucky, Southeast Missouri, Boston College, Tennessee, North Texas. Then they hit Texas A&M at home. Vanderbilt, well, you got to play Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, and Arkansas. So they may roll in about 6-0 before they play Texas A&M, or at least 5-0.
It looks like Tennessee.
It's fun to listen to.
It looks like to me that
first 6 games, whether they win them or not, that's
Of course, I was looking out down here at Tennessee. They better find a quarterback, or they'll end up near the bottom. Right now, they don't have one.
Mike, they don't anything. They're going to be terrible.
Hendon Hooker. Have you ever heard of Hendon Hooker? That's their quarterback. So I don't know.
I mean, is Tennessee going to go on probation? What's the deal with that? With the paper bags full of McDonald's money?
Tell us that story, Mike. Do you know it?
Well, I mean, they said they were giving recruits McDonald's with cash in it.
Yeah.
They started, I guess they started that NIL early. McDonald's might have been sending that, trying to get them to be a sponsor.
Well, they got the richest guy, one of the richest in the country. What's his name? Haslam. Has all those Flying J Pollitt. Isn't that his gas station? He owns the Cleveland Browns too, doesn't he?
I don't know.
Is he a Tennessee grad?
Well, no. I mean, he owns the Cleveland Browns. I know he's a big Tennessee alumnus.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was Heupel, I mean, it'd be one of those things. I mean, I know Pruitt recruited really well, but all those guys that Pruitt recruited left the program.
Yeah, there's about 25, I think, left in the 20s.
As I saw a bumper sticker, I went to a wedding Saturday, and I saw a bumper sticker. It said, Tennessee, the worst team money can buy.
Isn't that amazing? Oh, boy, what happened in Tennessee? How about Will Rogers? I think the reason he's playing quarterback at Mississippi State is that they like his name, Will Rogers. You reckon his family dates back to the rodeo king, Will Rogers?
Well, that's another team that's going to be terrible.
And,
it was such a joke last year when they put all these teams with losing records in bowl games.
Yeah.
So Mississippi State actually won a bowl game. They beat Tulsa.
Yeah.
And then they got in a brawl that the whole.
Oh yeah, that was.
I mean, every team.
It was terrible. You're right. Mike Leach is, gosh, he's a showman, all right. I don't know if he can win any games.
Well, I think he won 4 last year.
But,
they almost beat Georgia though last year at Georgia. They only had 50 players playing the game.
Yeah, I remember that. Of course, Phil.
They actually had a better defense last year in offense.
Yeah. Bill Steele, he thinks that Miami's going to give Alabama a pretty good chance early. Alabama playing with the quarterback for the first time, and Miami's got a real experienced quarterback coming back.
Miami suspended one of their defensive players, or not. He has been booted off the team for domestic problems.
I might go ahead and pick Appalachian State to beat Miami in the second game. Appalachian is just loaded with talent, and
could be.
I wouldn't doubt it right there. That could be a real upset.
Especially if they get beat up by Alabama.
Miami gets beat up physically, yeah, that's a chance.
Yeah.
Mike, to ease your mind about Alabama and Miami, guess what the point spread is currently on that game?
24.
18.5, isn't it?
17.5.
Wow.
Dorico King is a senior quarterback, and he did throw for 4,925 yards. That's almost the tops in the nation, I believe.
I wonder if he's going to be 100% healthy.
De'Aaron King broke all the records at Houston, and then he transferred to Miami. Then he blew out his knee, and now he's playing his 6th year of college football.
Oh boy, 6 years.
Did he do that late? Didn't he do that late in the season? He did it in bowl game, didn't
he? Yeah.
Hurt in the bowl game.
And they got
how's he going to be coming off that knee injury against Alabama? Those defensive ends coming after him.
They better get ready.
And then they got a wide receiver named Charleston Rambo Jr.
Alabama's an 18.5-point favorite at Auburn this year.
What about Florida? Because they play Florida the third game. Is there a
15-point play over Florida?
What about A&M? Alabama.
A&M, I think 9.
Alabama's 13 over A&M right now.
Could you play those right now in Las Vegas?
You could out in Vegas, yeah.
I think you could take Alabama and win right there. 18.5.
Go for it, play it.
Yeah.
Well, have you? So should we go ahead and make reservations in Indianapolis?
Yeah.
We all want to take a break?
Yeah, we will. Take a break. We'll be right back.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Sandbuck Insurance has been providing quality insurance solutions to our community in the Troy, Enterprise, Andalusia, and surrounding areas for 39 years. We focus on providing a personal touch and attention to detail when it comes to customer service. We make sure to create an experience that is difficult to find in today's market, so our clients can be sure they are doing what is best for them. At Sandbuck Insurance, we'll work with you to ensure that you and those you care about the most are protected. Making a difference today. Sandbuck Insurance.
Are you ready?
Starting August 20th.
The City of Montgomery Department of Cultural Affairs is excited to welcome country music icon Martina McBride to Riverwalk Stadium on August 14th. Tickets are just $30. Get your tickets online at montgomeryal.gov or in person at 200 Coosa Street. Martina McBride with special guests the Wilson Brothers Band on August 14th is brought to you by Embassy Suites, Blue Water Broadcasting, and Bama Bud.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever. At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Sandbuck Insurance has been providing quality insurance solutions to our community in the Troy, Enterprise.
Are you ready?
Starting August 20th.
The City of Montgomery Department of Cultural Affairs is excited to welcome country music icon Martina McBride to Riverwalk Stadium on August 14th. Tickets are just $30. Get your tickets online at montgomeryal.gov or in person at 200 Coosa Street. Martina McBride with special guests the Wilson Brothers Band on August 14th is brought to you by Embassy Suites, Blue Water Broadcasting, and Bama Bud.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever. At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local...
Back to our show brought to you by our good friends at Troy Bank and Trust Company. Remember, Troy Bank and Trust Company is the only bank you'll ever need, and also by Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass, where Jason Gregory and his folks have got another huge sale going on brand new and used cars, and we appreciate them being a solid program. Brings up some great deals for our viewers.
Michael, are you seeing new cars on the lots down there whenever you get to travel to different places? Are there many new vehicles on the lots in that part of Florida?
And I'll be honest with you, where I work down here, which is mostly 30A, Destin, you really don't see car dealerships. The only place you see car dealerships down here in Panama City or Fort Walton, and I really don't go over there much. But Panama City Beach, not Panama City Beach, but Panama City and Fort Walton have a large amount of car dealerships. I don't know if it's the military presence or what, but they have more car dealerships down in those places I've ever seen anywhere.
Yeah. You know, when I go to Fort Rooker or a military base, I like riding through their car lots because you know, if somebody's deploying overseas, they may not want to take that particular car over there. Or they say, I'll just go ahead and sell it. Yeah. Sometimes you can find some neat looking stuff.
Mike,
how about this right here for Alabama football right now? Training camp's about to start in the NFL. I think it opens maybe the day. Alabama's got 81 former players on rosters right now. 81.
Boy, that is something.
And they had over 64 playing actual games last year.
Yeah.
The recruiting of that is just insane. I mean, nobody has anywhere close to that many.
And then when you have that big record deal that was yesterday by Allen. But one thing in the National Football League that I wanted to mention is Coach Ron Rivera is very, I hate getting back on COVID, but he's very frustrated because less than 60% of his team has been vaccinated.
Oh boy!
You know, and he's a cancer survivor, and he has to wear a mask, and he's his immune system is low, and right now, only 14 of the 32 teams in the National Football League, 14 of 32, have vaccination rates more than 90%, which means less than half. And the Washington football team has less than 60%.
I think we're going to see some problems right off the get-go.
And they'll have to forfeit those games if you have to miss a game because of COVID problems within your team. That's going to be a forfeit, just like the NCAA, just like the Southeastern Conference mentioned about 2 weeks ago. If it's related to somebody that's non-vaccinated.
My book is if they don't get vaccinated, they don't play. I think it ought to be that strong a suggestion to those players. Of course, Mike,
y'all want me to name the names of all the Alabama players on the NFL rosters?
All right, and tell us who they play for.
All right, you got the Arizona Cardinals, Deontay Thompson. He's one of my favorite players at Alabama, number 14, safety. The Cardinals, Atlanta Falcons, you got A.J. McCarron, quarterback, Calvin Ridley, great wide receiver. He's already put up huge numbers for the Falcons. Baltimore Ravens, you got Anthony Averett, cornerback, Bradley Bozeman, center, Marlon Humphrey, of course he played at Hoover, cornerback, and then Andre Smith, offensive tackle, has been in the league for several years, played at Huffman at Birmingham. And then this guy, a lot of people don't realize, he played at Alabama only like a year and a half. He's a walk-on. He started every year in the pros since he wasn't even drafted. His name's Levi Wallace, starting quarterback for the Buffalo Bills.
Levi Wallace, that's right.
He's a starting cornerback?
Yeah.
Quarterback. And then you got the Carolina Panthers. You got Deontay Brown, who played this year. Thomas Fletcher, who was a long snapper. And then Christian Miller, outside linebacker, defensive end. This is all the Alabama players currently on NFL rosters. Eddie Jackson, another great player at safety, plays for the Bears, already been an All-Pro. Cincinnati Bengals, you got Tony Brown, former defensive back, Jonah Williams, offensive tackle, great offensive tackle, first-round pick. And the Cleveland Browns have got a lot of Alabama players now. You got Rodney Harrison, safety, Damian Square, nose tackle. He was one of the first guys that played for Saban. Jared Wills Jr., offensive tackle, and then the kid out of Carver, Coach Quinn Hambright talks about all the time, Mac Wilson, linebacker.
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys, you got Amari Cooper. Everybody knows Amari. Trayvon Diggs had a good first year, cornerback. Denver Broncos, you got Kareem Jackson. He played early on for Saban. Jerry Jeudy, Patrick Surtain. Of course, he was a first-round pick last year. Detroit Lions, you got another Carver linebacker, Shaquan Dion Hamilton. And Deshaun Hand, defensive lineman. Green Bay Packers have J.K. Scott, Hunter. Houston Texans have Sakeen Carter and Mark Ingram at running back. So Mark Ingram is now with the Houston Texans. He played with the Saints, played with the Ravens, now plays with the Texans. Indianapolis Colts, a lot of people say this is the best lineman to play for Saban. Ryan Kelly, center. Jacksonville Jaguars, you got Dylan Moses, linebacker. Cam Robinson, offensive tackle. Kansas City Chiefs, you got Garrett Dieter, wide receiver. Garrett Gore, running back. Jerron Reed, defensive tackle. From Reed, the great defensive tackle, left Seattle, is now with Kansas City.
You know, I've never heard of that Gore kid, Mike. When did he play at Alabama?
He was a running back at Alabama for 2 or 3 years.
Never played.
He rushed for 1,400 yards at La Monroe.
I know, but he
had his great success at La Monroe after he left Alabama.
Oh, okay.
He
I
played
got
at
you
Alabama.
now.
He was on the roster.
All right,
This might be my new favorite team, the Raiders, Oakland Raiders. We got Lester Cotton out of Tuscaloosa, guard, Kenyon Drake, running back, Josh Jacobs, running back, Alex Leatherwood, offensive tackle, Henry Ruggs III, wide receiver.
They got 5.
Yeah.
Or 6, yeah.
And then Los Angeles Chargers have Cole Massa, long snapper. Los Angeles Rams have Terrell Lewis, Ashawn Robinson, defensive tackle. Now Miami's got a lot of Alabama guys out too. They got Raycon Davis, defensive tackle, DJ Fluker out of Mobile at guard, Robert Foster, wide receiver, and they have of course Tua Tagovailoa at quarterback, Carl Tucker that played tight end in Alabama last year, and then one of my favorite players of all time, Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
So they have, how many is that, Forrest? That's
6, I think.
4, 6.
Yeah.
6 Alabama players on the Dolphin roster right now. Minnesota Vikings, you got Irv Smith Jr., the great tight end, Dalvin Tomlinson, defensive tackle, and then the New England Patriots have a lot of Alabama guys now too. Christian Barmore, Damian Harris, Dante Hightower, Anthony Jennings, and Mac Jones at quarterback. The Saints have no Alabama players. And then the New York Giants have a lot of Alabama players. Ryan Anderson, Xavier McKinney, Reggie Ragland, Aaron Robinson, Carson Tinkard. Of course, Carson Tinker's the kid that got blown away in the
He's a snapper.
Ended up dying.
What kind of money did that guy make as a snapper, Mike?
Oh, I'm sure he makes $900,000 a year.
No way, as a snapper. And all he's got to do is snap the football.
Wake up,
is that
son,
right?
Fish, go snap camp.
Then New York Jets have two of the best defensive players ever played at Alabama. You got C.J. Mosley at linebacker and Quentin Williams, the defensive tackle. And then the Eagles have Landon Dickerson, the great center from last year, Jalen Hurts, Ross Pierce-Walker, Devontae Smith. And then the Steelers have a lot of Alabama guys. Isaiah Buggs, Mika Fitzpatrick, Najee Harris, J.C. Hassenauer at center. San Francisco has Jared Maiden. Tampa Bay Bucks have O.J. Howard. Tennessee Titans have Rashad Evans, Miller Fallstall, Derrick Henry, Julio Jones, and Maurice Smith. And then the final team of Alabama players on their active roster right now, Washington football team, is Jonathan Allen, Landon Collins, Deron Payne, and Cam Sims.
All right, take you a sip of tea. But I've pulled up Troy University's active players.
How many they got? How many they got?
What I've pulled up, it says 4. Well, it may have 5, but I'm reading 4.
Alabama's got 81 and they got 4.
This was I pulled this up from Our Lads. This is a 2021. Of course, it could change. Mario Addison, a defensive end for Buffalo. Wide receiver Khalil McLean for the Chicago Bears. Cornerback Will Sunderland for the Seattle Seahawks. Nose tackle Steve McClendon from Tampa Bay. Is there another one, Michael?
You know, I saw Damian Willis, the really good wide receiver that was a free agent and made the Browns. I figured maybe he was still on the roster.
I think he got hurt.
Or for the Bengals, sorry. I guess maybe he's not in the league anymore.
You said Damian Willis?
Yeah, Damian Willis.
I
wide
thought
receiver.
He was. You know, he played in the New Orleans Bowl, and I think he caught like 15 passes in his last game in college, and then he made the Bengals as non-drafted free agents, but maybe he's out.
All right, it says 2021.
Sutherland's the kid that transferred in from Oklahoma to Troy and played 2 years at quarterback. A big, tall guy.
And he's still in it?
210 pounds. I mean, he's on a roster. It doesn't mean he's going to make the team. And it doesn't mean all these Alabama guys are going to make the team.
That's right.
It said, I'm pulling up, it says he's a free agent, Damian Willis. But in 2021, he was with the Denver Broncos, all-season and or practice squad member only.
Okay.
But not sure about him.
See, the people don't realize when you're on a practice squad, you make $100,000 a year on the practice squad.
Yeah. All right, listen. Let's talk about Auburn. Let's give Auburn players. How many they got on rosters?
I have to pull it up.
Well, you need to do right by Auburn folks.
I'm a huge Auburn supporter. My sister's a graduate there. My mom. I've been to Auburn games.
Don't y'all have some kin on the staff up there? Or
yeah, we got Brent Bledsoe.
Yeah, the director of high school and football relations, Brent Bledsoe, is our cousin.
And what now?
I was just saying he's the director of high school and football relations. Brent Bledsoe is our cousin.
Yeah, that's right.
How is he your cousin, Dad? His dad was who?
His dad was Bob Bledsoe. Bob Bledsoe was his daddy, and he was Bob Bledsoe's son.
All right, the Auburn Tigers, active players on rosters in the NFL. Last season they had 34 guys playing games. Currently they have 42 players on active rosters. Alabama has 81.
That's pretty good.
Atlanta Falcons, Marley Davidson. We know him well.
From Greenville.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, Greenville. Josh Harris, long snappers, also. This is on the Falcons. Baltimore Ravens, Auburn has none. Buffalo Bills, a lot of people remember this guy, Duke Williams, wide receiver. Carolina Panthers, first-round pick a few years ago, Derek Brown, defensive tackle, Mike Gordon, guard. Chicago Bears have a guy named Angelo Blackson, defensive end. Cincinnati Bengals have C.J. Usmanzada at tight end. Cleveland Browns have Cody Parkey as the kicker, and then the speedster Anthony Schwartz is playing wide receiver. You think Baker Mayfield's happy to have a guy that can run as fast as Schwartz?
I know it, and he didn't have to come. He didn't have to come out. He had another year, didn't he?
Yeah, he didn't either. And Seth Williams had another year too. The wide receiver from Auburn's now with the Broncos.
But very, very fast. He probably the fastest guy in the NFL. Wouldn't you say?
I don't know if he'd be the fastest than him. He's got to be close though. And then you got the Detroit Lions have no Auburn players. Green Bay has no Auburn players. Houston Texans have no Auburn players. Indianapolis Colts have Braden Smith, offensive tackle. Jacksonville Jaguars have Rudy Ford, safety, and Daniel Thomas, safety. Kansas City Chiefs have Prince Tigo Wango, offensive tackle. And then the great kicker, Las Vegas Raiders kicker, Daniel Carlson. Los Angeles Browns have Derek Moncrief, linebacker. Miami Dolphins have Javaris Davis, cornerback. Noah Indigo Heen, cornerback. And then the New England Patriots have Martavis Adams, Byron Cowart, Jonathan Jones, Brandon King, Cam Newton, Jared Stidham. So 6 Auburn players and 5 Auburn play with the Patriots right now.
Did you say Derek Moncrief?
Yeah.
He also, didn't he transfer to Oklahoma State?
Yeah, and also Coward did too. He transferred to Maryland.
Yeah. Well, Derek Moncrief has a brother named Quay Moncrief who was on staff at Charles Henderson. He was the middle school football coach. Now he is with the Prattville Lions.
Oh, really?
But the Moncrief family is from Prattville.
Okay, I got
so that's where this
well-known
Derek
family
Moncrief.
Well, back in the day, Jeff Davis had a great quarterback named Moncrief.
Yeah. Mike, I hear all this, and I've been reading about LSU. Nobody giving LSU a credit, but I'll say this. Phil Steele thinks LSU is one of his sleeper teams if they get a guy that can play quarterback. If they find a quarterback,
they've got 2 good quarterbacks.
Hey, look out for LSU. Look out for LSU.
They open up at UCLA, then McNeese, Central Michigan, Mississippi State, Auburn, Kentucky, Florida. It'll come against they probably should be undefeated when they play Alabama.
Yeah, and that's
on the 6th of November.
The most players for Auburn are with Tampa Bay Bucks as well. Calvin Ashley, offensive tackle. KJ Britt, linebacker. Carlton Davis, cornerback. Jamal Dean, cornerback. And then we all remember this guy, John Franklin III. He transferred out and played for Lane Kiffin his senior year at Florida Atlantic.
Yeah. Well,
that's Auburn guys in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sorry, I forgot.
Troy at one time, under Blakeney, I'm almost positive had about 10 guys in the NFL. I mean, that was a credit to Shaughnessy and Coach Blakeney and his staff's recruiting. I mean, Troy had a lot of guys in the NFL at one time.
When they got them here, they developed them in that weight room and stuff. And
we're going to go to a final break. We'll be right back.
We thought you were...
It's our end of the month sale at Premier. Yes. Choose from over 100 pre-owned vehicles. Prices start at $2,995. Payments as low as $99 a month. Now through Monday at PremierTroy.com. Let's go. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
The City of Montgomery Department of Cultural Affairs is excited to welcome country music icon Martina McBride to Riverwalk Stadium on August 14th. Tickets are just $30. Get your tickets online at montgomeryal.gov or in person at 200 Coosa Street. Martina McBride with special guests the Wilson Brothers Band on August 14th is brought to you by Embassy Suites, Blue Water Broadcasting, and Bama Bud.
Are you ready?
Starting August 20th.
When it comes to surgery, precision is perfection. The very latest technology available ensures the best possible outcome. The Mako Robotic Arm-Assisted Surgery System is now available at Troy Regional Medical Center. Skilled orthopedic surgeon Dr. Robert L. Liljeberg and his team provide patients with faster recovery and better movement after a knee replacement surgery. When accuracy matters, you deserve the very best. Troy Regional Medical Center.
We have new Rams and Jeeps.
Okay.
Save up to $10,000 on new Rams. Yes. Or $2,250 on new Jeeps. We have over 50 new vehicles to choose from. Don't miss the end of the month sale at PremierTroy.com. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
One more transfers this year.
We're back. We're back.
Back to our show, brought to you by Sisters. And Sisters, whether you pronounce it Sisters or Sisters, the food is great.
Yeah, I need to break bread there.
Yeah, well, that's right.
What about the teams that came on the show for their bake sales? Have they started playing yet, or is that next week?
They'll start toward the end of July, first part of August. I know the Sweeties, I think, are leaving tonight, going to Louisiana, the 6 and under softball team.
6-year-old
kid.
They
can play in Alexander City, or in Alexandria, Louisiana.
Mike, how old is Mary Prater?
I would love to go watch a bunch of 6-year-olds play. That'd be amazing to watch.
Daddy, I got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I know. Or they just let a ball roll by and don't even pay attention. Out there picking daisies.
I can tell you, all you got to do is look for them jumping around, jumping around here and jumping around there. That means they got to go to the bathroom.
Mary Prater will be 5 on August the 19th. So
okay, I got you.
I'm gonna be broke later in life on birthdays because I'm gonna have Mary Prater on the 19th, and then my wife's birthday's on the 16th.
Yeah.
We already have a combined birthday party for them.
Yeah. Coach Mike Amos calling in from Great Beach.
It's one of those things I couldn't imagine having to compete as a 6-year-old in a tournament, like a World Series. It's amazing.
I know it.
I don't know how many teams will be there. My guess, 6 to 10. I'm not real sure. Louisiana will probably have 2 teams, the host team and then whoever their state champion is, because the host team does not have to compete in the state championship. And
I want you to look at something here. You were talking about we were talking about Florida and talking about Georgia. And maybe you can say a little bit about Kentucky, but other than that, the East has very few good teams in it. The way it looks to me.
Well, I think it's going to be Georgia and Florida are going to be pretty good. Georgia, I think, if they can find a way to get, the great receiver out of Hoover got injured, so that's going to hurt them a lot. But I don't know. I mean, I see Missouri being a little bit better than people think.
Mike, if they, in 2025, are they going to do the 4 pods, or will it be East versus West? Say Alabama.
Yeah, I don't know how they'll do that. I don't know how they'll do an SEC championship game. I don't know. Well, say you got a team that wins, 8-1, or 2 teams that win 8-1 in your division. But they're, both of their losses are to the East, or both their losses are to the West. How do you decide that? Best ranking, I guess?
I don't know.
Because, it's obviously going to go to 9 or 10 games, conference games, probably 10.
And that, like Bill was saying, that's going to wipe out a lot of...
Saban's supposed to coach till, I think, 2027 or 2028. So by the time they get in the league, Saban will be on his way out.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be crazy if when he's on his way out, they end up hiring Sarkisian away from Texas if he has great success?
Yeah. I know.
There's so much unknown in this NIL conference swapping.
I tell you what, as a season ticket holder, though, this would be the time to definitely be on your Tide Pride and save your tickets forever. Because my goodness, can you imagine the games you would get to see?
Yeah.
In Tuscaloosa, that would be unbelievable. Every single week would be
Texas and Alabama.
An amazing matchup. And you think of all the games where we just literally, I was holding tickets up walking into the stadium, couldn't even sell them, had to throw them on the ground or just give them to somebody. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Some of the horrible teams they play in non-conference.
Mm-hmm. I saw.
But then you look at those games now, and I always tell my wife, I was like, I want to take the girls to an Alabama game. It'd be fun to take them up there, and those are the games you can get in and not have to worry about it because you're not stressed out about the score. You're not stressed out about what's going on. You can just let them enjoy the atmosphere. So, some aspects, those games are good.
Brian Robinson, the running back at Alabama, is the only running back that's ever carried a ball in the SEC. So all of these guys are young, and the only other ball carrier was the quarterback, and he hasn't been there long. So
I watched the documentary on Herschel Walker again. I just get addicted to it. But Georgia really should have won 3 national championships in a row with him. They won one his freshman year. They lost in a heartbreaker to Pittsburgh the next year with like less than a minute to go in the game when Marino threw that pass. And then the next year, I think they lost 26-21 to Penn State. So for 3 years in a row with Herschel Walker, they were just one-dimensional for the most part. But he was a monster. So maybe Alabama, well, we know Auburn's got a monster running back.
That's right. That's
what kid from
Tank.
Yeah.
Bixby.
Auburn, to me, is going to be a lot better than people think, than Mike Amos thinks. Auburn is going to be a lot better than Mike Amos thinks.
I just feel like Auburn, after watching them last year, they've got to be a little bit better on offense, I would think, even though they lost 2 good wide receivers. But I think their offensive line last year was all new. I mean, I think every single one of them will be coming back. So they've got to be a little bit better. But I'll be interested to see how Hartson is as far as a play caller compared to the way Malzahn and Chad Bush was last year. I got to think Auburn's going to be way more balanced.
Mm-hmm. We're talking about the pod schedule with SEC projected pod schedule. In Pod A, you got Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, South Carolina. Pod B, Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, Vanderbilt. Pod C, LSU, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M. Pod D, Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas. And I think you'd play everybody within your pod, and you'd play some other. I don't know how many total SEC games that would include, but so Pod A, I don't know how it would project for the Southeastern Conference winner, but that'll be worked out later.
Well, of course, I talk about Alabama and worry about them, just with one experienced running back, but heck, all these other guys were 5-stars that hadn't run yet, hadn't played in the SEC yet, and most all of them are 5-stars. So they'll be pretty good.
Championship game, would you have to keep the championship game in Atlanta, or would you try to put it somewhere like Dallas, or would you move it every other year?
Well, I play indoors. That's a good question. But offensive line.
I mean, Jerry World's a great place to play as well.
Right. Michael, the offensive line for Auburn and Alabama, who returns the most, or who has the most experience offensive line? Say LSU, Alabama, Auburn, Texas A&M.
Well, it depends on how you look at it. Owen started the last 2 or 3 games because Dickerson got hurt. And then you got Evan Neal, and then you got the guard. Was it Okafor or something?
Right, Okafor.
So Alabama technically brings back 3 starters. I want to say A&M brings back everybody but one. Auburn, I think, brings back everybody.
What about LSU? I'm wondering. That's the key.
Well, one of LSU starters got kicked off the team and transferred somewhere else, didn't he?
Right. He did. I cannot remember his name. Big old guy. Is it Caesar? He's about 6'7", 320.
If you might watch LSU late in the season, though, I mean, the Ole Miss game, they found a way to win. They went at Florida. I mean, they were playing pretty decent football at the very end.
I think LSU.
Other than when Alabama could have put 80 on them.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be.
I think Alabama,
A&M, LSU.
Yeah. I think Alabama's days of putting 80 on anybody is gone. I don't think their offense is going to be near as good as it was last year.
Well, they're going to have a great wide receiver in Metsy, but,
That's the only one.
A lot of these other guys are going to have to step up, and you got Bill O'Brien, who I didn't think was a great offensive coach in the pros. I mean, he was the head coach for the Texans, but I don't know if I'm going to be as impressed with him as I was with Sarkisian. But we'll see what happens.
Wasn't there some player uprisings with him in Texas, with the Texans?
Yeah. He had some off the field stuff, on the field stuff that happened in the locker room. He seems like a really great guy, though. I think he has a special needs kid.
And he's real close to the offensive coordinator. I mean, he and the defensive coordinator, they go way back, didn't they?
Offensive line coach Doug Monroe.
Yeah,
go way back.
Yeah, they go way back.
He was the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay.
So they got 2 guys that were NFL coaches on their staff this year. Pretty crazy. NFL head coaches last year, now they're on Alabama staff.
Well, it's exciting times. It's coming. It's rolling.
Oh yeah, it'll all happen this next Monday. You need to be out there and let these young men that are playing at Troy and know all the folks that are rooting for them, and can't wait. I just can't wait to see it start.
And before we leave again, I wanted to mention about Jimmy Copeland.
Yeah, do that, please.
This afternoon, his visitation is from 4 to 6 at Green Hills Funeral Home. And on Thursday, 1 hour before the service at the funeral home, so from 1 to 2 as well tomorrow, and the funeral service will begin at 2 o'clock. So again, Jimmy Ray Copeland.
The funeral service is from?
Is 2 o'clock at the funeral home, Green Hills.
Green Hills.
That's tomorrow.
Yeah.
But our thoughts are with Mr.
If you want to watch the Olympic golf, that will start at 5:30 tonight on the Golf Channel. So if you want to watch the Olympic coverage of the golf channel 5:30, I don't know what channel that is on the short cable.
Well, I'll just say this: a great guy, a great guy has left us, and of course his impact on Troy cable the last 10 to 15 years has been great. And what a good man, Troy, the city of Troy, as Jimmy Copeland. I tell you, we're gonna miss him.
Jimmy Copeland, Jimmy Lunsford, and
that's
all
right.
The prayers go out to the family. I know Todd and Chad and everybody. We're definitely praying for them.
Well, Jimmy was a solid member of the upper echelon of Troy Cable, and they're gonna miss him. And of course, Dick Freeman, probably Dick Freeman's best friend, and I know he's gonna really miss Jimmy Copeland. Have a good day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
It's our end of the month sale at Premier. Choose from over 100 pre-owned vehicles. Prices start at $2,995.